Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host, Gershwin, and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the Sisters of Battle. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day. And of course, if you have any suggestions, just comment down below. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Order of the Argent Shroud. The Order of the Argent Shroud is one of the Order militants of the Sisters of Battle. As the name of the order suggests, these battle sisters wear silver power armor coupled with white cloaks that have red lining. The weapons that they bear are also red. Their order's iconography is that of an ebon skull with an iron halo, like the other saints of the Sisters of Battle. Sylvana was one of the 5 sisters and a member of Alicia Dominica's bodyguards when she was taken before the Golden Throne. She is noted for the many selfless acts of self-sacrifice she performed throughout her life. And sisters who have survived a battle despite terrible odds often invoke her name in thanks for deliverance from the forces of evil. She was one of the first sisters to lead holy crusades in the name of the Emperor of Mankind. In the late 36 millennia, Sylvana is said to have died after being poisoned by a death cult assassin, and the legend states that her body mysteriously vanished after having laid in state for a week within the inner sanctum of the Covent Prioris. A silver image of her bones was left imprinted on her death shroud, which is revered as one of the sisterhood's most holy relics, and that gives the order its title. The image most often associated with Saint Sylvana is the death shroud, imprinted with a ghostly image of her skeleton. She was declared an imperial saint by the unanimous vote of the Holy Synod of the Ecclesiarchy. Sylvana was renowned for her spirit and her stoic faith. She seldom spoke, believing that deeds on the battlefield spoke more of a warrior's devotion than any words. The Sisters of the Argent Shroud likewise rarely speak, and they are famed for their selfless acts of heroism. As such, the Order fields a high number of Celestian and Seraphim squads. Their faith a shield as strong as their silver armor, and their righteousness a weapon as potent as bolter fire. When the large orc wall, ever raised, led by the warlord Godskull Mag Uruk Thraka, assaulted the Armageddon sector and began the Third War for Armageddon, the Order of the Argent Shroud responded in kind. They sent 7 whole companies of battle sisters to assist the beleaguered sector. 4 companies were deployed to the Fire Wastes, while the remaining 3 companies spread throughout almost every war zone on Armageddon. In one notable incident during the brutal campaign, the Order found themselves fighting alongside Armageddon Militia and the notorious Flesh Terror Space Marine Chapter. Chapter Master Gabriel Seth denied Canoness Carmina any tactical console whatsoever. After nearly a century in leading her sisters to war, occasionally alongside Marine chapters, this treatment came as no surprise. But the Order's main grievance was with the way the notorious chapter conducted themselves during the ensuing battle. The Battle Sisters struck Warlord Rucklum's army as it changed position from shelling the mining outpost of Gaius Point to occupying the settlement. Battered by 3 days of bombardment, the population of Gaius Point had dug underground and under the careful ministration of the Order's sister superior were determined to form an ad hoc militia to defend their homes. The Flesh Terrors launched their attack on the Orc column when it was approximately 1 imperial mile from Gaius Point, and hitting the orcs in the rear and flank, they drove the disorganized enemy into the Battle Sisters' waiting guns. Caught between sister and marine, many orcs were slaughtered, with the survivors mounting their vehicles to escape with all haste. The sisters first noticed something was very wrong when 3 mobs of orcs, deserted by their cowardly leaders, formed up and assaulted their front lines, choosing to engage the militia rather than the sisters' deadly accurate bolter guns. The Flesh Terrors, apparently driven mad by some kind of battle frenzy, crashed into the orcs' rear ranks, just as the first orcs reached the militia. The Flesh Terrors fell upon the orcs in an orgy of bloodletting. Many Marines removed their helmets, and eschewing the use of pistols and other ranged weapons, set about the orcs with chainsword and knives and tooth. Canoness Carmina witnessed in mute horror Marines ripping out the throats of orcs with their bare teeth. The raw fury and love of carnage she saw in the faces as they literally tore the enemy apart made her shudder in fear. The orcs were annihilated within seconds of the Marines' attack, but a small number of the enemy were simply not enough for the flesh terrors, who by now seemed to have been driven into a fever pitch of absolute bloodlust. With no more orcs for them to butcher, they scrambled over the barricades and the perimeter of the Gaia's Point, and smashed into the thin line of militia. Properly driven into a true battle frenzy, the flesh terrors perform acts of most debauched nature in the name of violence. Men, women, and youth all fell beneath their blades. The old, the infirm, none were spared the flesh terror's crazed attack. One of the Order's Sister Superior later reported that she was personally witnessing cannibalistic acts committed by the frenzied Marines. The canoness did not witness this, but she believed Sister Superior's report. She ordered a hasty withdrawal of her sisters from the flesh terrors with all haste before they reached their position. The canoness firmly believed that it was evident that the flesh terrors had devolved far beyond any point reached by the Loyalist chapter, and requested their immediate destruction. In a separate incident, the sisters garrisoning the fortified basilica of the Temple of the Emperor's Ascendant, located within Hive Hell's Reach, was overrun and destroyed. Many of the sacred relics of the world's first colonists were lost. Then Reclusiarch, Grimulus of the Dark Templars, managed to save some of their precious relics. And those were 40 facts on the Order of the Argent Shroud. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Surprisingly enough, this was news to me. I did not know that there was different order militants of the Sisters of Battle. I always thought that it was just the three orders. So you have your Order Dialogus, which are your translators. Those are the Sisters of Battle that know different languages and can talk to Xenos and can talk like different types of Gothic. Which, if you haven't checked out our 40 facts on Low Gothic, or I think it's 40 facts on the language of Warhammer 40K, it's pretty interesting because you get to hear, or you get the information of all the different types of Gothic. So there's Low Gothic, High Gothic. There's all types of coolness to that, so check that out. But anyways, so there was that order, and then the other order I thought was the Order Hospitalaire, or Order Surgeon, something. Well, I thought, but those were the medics, and those guys are, just pretty stereotypical. They're like the nurses of Warhammer 40K, and then you have the Sisters of Battle, who were actually just like the military force, but now we find out that they're broken up into even more. So, pretty cool. If you guys want to get more information on this specific order, check out the wiki page, link down in the description below, because there's more lore on them, so check that out. We didn't cover everything. Also, you could just browse through all the different orders and find a Sisters of Battle color scheme that you like, and then you can connect it to a specific saint, and you can connect it to a specific order, which would be pretty cool. The whole concept of saints in Warhammer 40K, I'm beginning to like more and more. The more that I read about different saints, the more badass it seems that, like, yeah, you could play as these guys, which is pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to collect Sisters of Battle army, there you go. Even though it seems that everybody on the internet wants to wait for the Plastic Sisters, because everybody wants a Plastic Sisters of Battle army, but they're waiting, even though they're probably never gonna come, because that's how they do. No, but I'm actually joking. If you follow the rumors and speculations online, the rumor is that the Sisters of Battle are coming out pretty soon. They're actually already done sometime this year. I'm going to give you guys a speculation video next week, early next week, hopefully, that gives you all the things that point towards the Sisters of Battle coming out in plastic form. And then once that happens, we'll see what happens with the community. Are people actually going to jump on it and start buying the Sisters of Battle? Because everybody says that they want to collect Sisters of Battle, but we'll see if you can, if they can put their money where their mouth is and get some Adeptus Sororitas armies going. Even though the metal models aren't that bad. Yeah, I get it. Like, sometimes the paint rubs off, but you know how the saying goes. I ain't got no type. Bad bitches is the only thing that I like. So we'll see if you can, we'll see if people buy them. But anyways, guys, if you guys enjoy these videos, don't forget to support us on Patreon. A simple $1 a month helps us create more videos for you guys. If you can't, we understand. Simply by liking, commenting, and sharing, it helps out the channel. But with that said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate signing out.